A few years ago, I discovered the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. And around this time, I was in my final year of secondary school. Exams were coming up, and I was desperately trying to find a way to ace my exams, to get good grades so I could get into my chosen course. So what I did next was simple. I studied this book intensively in order to find solutions so that I could focus effectively and so that I could actively get the grades that I wanted. And the lessons I gained from this book has stuck with me. The lessons on focus and attention. But of course, it wasn't always this way. And that's why I'll be sharing with you the power of deep work and how deep work has changed my life and how it can also change yours. Firstly, it's important we recognize the two types of work that people do today. There's shallow work and there's deep work. And for the vast majority of people, shallow work is their constant state of work. So what is shallow work? Well, it's quite simple. Shallow work is tasks that are done in a state of distraction. Think of sending an email to a friend or catching up on that email or catching up on that text. You can do it while you're distracted. You don't need to use your brain in order to do it. And for me personally, that was the type of work that I was doing for years, especially when I was trying to study for my exams. And the second type of work is the one that we're most interested in, and that's deep work. And deep work is tasks that you must do at a state of concentration. And you can only produce high quality work when your focus and distractions are eliminated. So why then does deep work matter? Well, it's simple. It produces value. Anything of value in this world, anything of value to you and me, was created in a state of deep work, in a state of concentration. And without it, we wouldn't have the things of value. So if you want to create things of value, things that people use and pay for, you must be good at doing deep work. And that's why I was interested in how I can apply and cultivate the ability to do deep work constantly. And ultimately, the currency of the world is value. The person who can create the most value is the one who will be awarded the most. So if you want to strive in the current landscape of things, doing deep work effectively is a must. But here's the thing. When I was doing shallow work, I was motivated by the end. I was motivated by the goal. And that can be good. But I often lost track of how I can actually get there. And there's a quote that goes by, "The man who loves walking will walk further than the one who loves the destination." The person who loves walking. And that is the differentiating factor of shallow work versus deep work. When you do deep work, you will be able to produce high quality work because you love what you do. And naturally, the results will come in of itself. When you put too much emphasis on the end, the goal, oftentimes it's fleeting. But when you focus on doing the right amount of work, doing the right work, the results that you desire naturally come. And that's the ability of deep work. So when I cultivated the ability to do deep work, I found more fulfillment in my work. I actually loved what I did. I loved creating, I loved marketing, I loved reading, I loved gaining knowledge, writing, reading. I loved creating. It's only when I loved doing those things and being in a state of deep work was I able to get the results that I wanted, even if they're small at the moment. But in order to create high value, you must be a creative person. You must be able to use your imagination and to think outside the box, to connect the dots and find novel insights. And again, deep work is the vehicle of creativity. So how does deep work cultivate creativity? Well, we're going to use this analogy. Think of your neurons in your brain as a forest. Your brain is a forest. But the neurons are the roads that are connecting the forest together. Connecting the roads together so that people can communicate with each other much more effectively. Deep work is the capital which allows these roads to be built. It allows the neurons in your brain to connect and subsequently find novel connections with each other, and therefore bringing about creative sparks. And the reason why this is because deep work involves deliberate practice. When you deliberately practice a skill, you naturally become better at it. And that's what deep work does. Deep work allows you to practice deliberately on things that you wish to improve upon. And once you do that, you will find novel connections within that field. And ultimately, creativity is the skill of connecting seemingly irrelevant things together. So ultimately, when you cultivate the ability to do deep work, not only will you find yourself creating things of value that people actually use and subsequently be rewarded by them, you also find fulfillment because you will actually love the work that you do. You won't be doing shallow work that holds no value. Rather, you'll be doing work that you actually enjoy doing. And finally, you'll become a creative genius because each moment you'll be finding novel connections and be rewarded by them.